Good morning, everyone. Today I'm going to be going over your Wednesday math warm up. And today we have a word problem that we need to find the answer to. Now, it's very important that when you have a word problem, you're not just looking at what numbers are in that problem and pulling them out and just saying, well, this looks like a bigger number and a smaller number, so I think I'm going to divide them, or I think I'm going to subtract them. No. You need to make sure that first you read through the whole word problem, the whole thing. And if you need to, read it out loud. I find that helpful at least. And you want to try to picture or visualize, make a little movie in your head of what is happening in the problem. Because if you can picture what's happening and what this problem looks like in your head, that's going to help you to decide what operation you need to pick to solve the problem. And when I say operation, I mean, are you adding, subtracting, multiplying, or dividing? So again, you can't just look at the numbers and be like, well, that one looks bigger, maybe I divide. You have to read it and picture the problem. So let's go through this problem. It says, Jordan made a batch of 194 cookies for his mom's birthday. Can picture that right now. It's taking up the whole counter space. He put 14 chocolate chips in each cookie before baking them in the oven. Okay, I can see him going through each one. Sprinkle 14, sprinkle 14, sprinkle 14 chocolate chips on each and every cookie before he bakes them. It takes so long. How many chocolate chips did Jordan need altogether? Well, let me go back through this problem again. I read through it, I pictured it in my head, but now I want to go back and look. I know that he made 194 cookies. I want to circle that information. It's important. It's something I gotta use to solve this problem. And I know that he put 14 chocolate chips in each cookie. I'm gonna underline that. That's important too. So we had 194 cookies and there's 14 in each and every one. It's kind of like each cookie is its own group, and there's 14 chocolate chips in every group. There's a lot of them. I wonder what we're going to do to solve my question here, which is how many chocolate chips did Jordan need all together? Okay, well, to see how many chocolate chips he needed all together, it wouldn't make sense to divide because I would get a pretty small number. I'm not dividing, 194 cookies between 14 chocolate chips. I'm giving 14 chocolate chips to every single cookie, and there's 194. And we talked the other day about how multiplication's the same as groups of, and so you can kind of picture each of those cookies as having its own group of 14 chocolate chips. So to see how many chocolate chips he used all together, we're going to have to multiply 194 cookies times the 14 chocolate chips. Okay, and so I'm going to erase this now. There's a couple different strategies that you can use to solve this. The first is that box method, where you would create a 3 by 2 window like this, kind of like we did with our Monday warm-up. And you're going to break your numbers into their hundreds, tens, and ones to help you multiply. So 100, 90, and 4 for 194, and 14 would break up into 10 and 4. Then you would multiply your top number by your top row of numbers. And I always go across the top row first and then the bottom row, just to help me keep track of my work. And you can think side times top, put it in the box. And to help you, you can take that first digit of your numbers. 1 times 1 is 1. And then because they both end in zeros, you can just add the number of zeros to the end of your problem. So we had 1, 2, 3 zeros. So I'm going to add my 3 zeros. I always like to go through and actually touch and count how many zeros I have in my problem so I don't miss one, because sometimes that happens. We had 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then I would take 10 times 90, so I can take 1 times 9, which is 9. And then let's count how many zeros we have. 1, 2. So I have to add 1, 2 zeros to get 900. Then I have 10 times 4. We know 10 times 4 is 40. Top row, done. Now let's go to that bottom row. We have 4 times 100. Well, if I had 4 hundreds, it's 400. 4 times 90. Well, I can take 4 times 9 and think back to the hand trick that I taught you the other day, where you put your hands out in front of you, like this, and starting on your left, depending on how this video turns out, it might look like it's my right, but this is my left-hand side. I'm going to count to my 4th finger. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's this one. Now I'm going to put it down. The number of fingers that are up to the left of the finger I put down is the tens digit of my answer to 9 times 4. So I have 3 up, so that means I have 30. And then my number of fingers up to the right of the finger I put down is my ones place digit. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means 36 is my answer to 4 times 9. But I'm not done yet. It was really 4 times 90. That's 10 times bigger. So to make my answer 10 times bigger, I have to add that 0 to make it 360. It might be kind of hard to see on my board, but hopefully you're following along with your own paper at home to help you out. All right, last we have 4 times 4, which is 16. And then you would write these numbers in order from largest to smallest, lining your numbers up by place value, and then add together to get your final answer. When you're adding, you got to make sure that you're lining those numbers up carefully, being very neat with your writing, so you don't misread a number that you wrote, and always double checking that addition, because small errors happen. Once you get your answer, because this is a word problem, you have to have a label for your word problem. So you got to think back to what are we actually solving for? And it's how many chocolate chips did he use total, Jordan, when he was baking? So when you're filling in your answer, you don't just put the number, you have to put what it represents. And in this problem, your answer, which since it's a multiplication problem, we call that the product, it would be representing chocolate chips. So you want to make sure you put that label on your answer. All right, if you have any questions about box method, or on the Monday video, I also went through the steps for the standard algorithm. Make sure you reach out to me to let me know, or you can also reach out to Mr. D or Mrs. Party. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. All right, bye.